Okay, that's better. It's better than the other. Their biggest problem is that they don't like it that I'm saying the government weekly checks. The government should be paying reparations to of the people that they stole. And I am a direct descendant of the Nigerians and the Blackfeet Native Americans. I've already sent proof to Congress, to Congress. I did all of that before I had a YouTube channel. So is that why you stole my goddamn email? So that you could see that I already sent it out? Check the email. You'll see who I sent it to. You don't owe every Black American that person that's Black, because there are some Haitian and Jamaican and Cubans that got black skin that came to this country. They just migrated here. They weren't stolen. They're not the descendants of the people that were stolen and brought here. So why should they get reparations? Now, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, she's saying that she wants to put a bill and do a study because, Black people were here and they couldn't live in certain places. So, let's do a study and let's, have some equal opportunity and let them have certain jobs and, let them get grants so they can go to school. Fine. That's that. Okay, do that. But I'm talking about when President Biden was talking to Charlemagne from the radio station. I'm not even sure Charlemagne should get cash reparations, even though he was asking for it. But what I am specifically talking about is the descendants of the slaves, descendants like myself, descendants like my children, not my grandchildren. Now, if my children want to give their children some of their wealth and pass it down, fine. That's entirely up to them. But all my grandchildren were born 2000 on. So they haven't suffered the discrimination. They haven't suffered the loss that I'm talking about. So I'm not even including my own grandchildren, because the reparation cannot go on generation. It just can't. And it should not. This is something where my grandmother and my mother discussed that what would have been theirs, that they wanted to give to me or give to my mother, and my mother wanted to give to me, and the gifts that we couldn't have and the traditions that we couldn't have, that I definitely would have given to my kids, and then they could have passed to theirs. But it stops at that generation. So I know for a fact that a lot of African, Jamaican, Haitian, and all them other races that I cannot name and I don't remember, I know they came to America as immigrants, as migrants. So I'm not including them in reparations, because nobody told them to come here seeking a better life. So if they got caught up in some of the racial discrimination, I understand that. They fall into the category of what Sheila Jackson Lee is talking about. But they were not here already from the 1817 and 1800s. They were not here already. They migrated here in the 1900s. I ain't even talking about them. you got to have a slave name. So if you have an African name, you kind of don't get the reparations that I'm talking about. If you have an African surname, then you're not entitled to the reparations, the 1.5 million reparations. So there are a lot of Black people that are here. Listen, not everyone that is Dominican subscribed to the I'm not Black. But if you are a Dominican, you're Black, but you're not Black American. That was brought here as a slave. So you are excluded from the type of reparations that I'm talking about, because while you are a Black person, you're not a Black person who suffered and is entitled to the reparations, unless you can prove that your ancestors were brought here in 1700. I do believe that you are due reparations. You just not due reparations from the American government, right? So I was very clear when I set the boundaries out, and when I said who is due the reparations. Now, if you've been here long enough and you meet the other requirements where you have a Social Security card and you came over here as an immigrant, not a migrant, but as an immigrant, you got in line, you got your papers, you've been paying taxes, money for the people, for everybody else. Okay, so, and I marked my paternal and my maternal, and then it stretched out to who was whom. And so my family goes all the way back to indentured slave or to slave or slave. And so I spent the time, and I went all the way back, and I found my ancestors. I went all the way back and I printed it out. And I tell you, it was not an easy thing to do, because they give you everybody. They give you everybody. And then you got to sort through and figure out who's who. And for some reason, luckily for me, what happened was we are named all the way back after our ancestors, and everybody in our family is named. Like, I'm named after my great-great, and my sisters and brothers, we're all named after everybody in our family, and it goes all the way back. Isn't that something? And so I followed it all the way back. That's why I have these G's. Great, 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 great. They named us all the way back. Great, 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 great. We are named after them all the way back. My brothers and sisters, we're named after them on both sides, maternal and paternal. The names followed all the way back. And it took me days to do this. Maternal, paternal, it took me days. So this was not something where right off of Ancestry, I found it right on Ancestry. This was not something where it took me a drop in the hat to do. And then, yeah, we're right back to the front. So I sit here and I say this, and, you know, some people probably like, oh, this lady don't know what she's talking about. Oh, yes, this lady does, baby. This lady does know what she's talking about. And then, so it's just a matter of, and this is the video that I wanted to make to show. And then because I did that, they actually sent me, they sent me an email and they said, we have more information on one of your relatives. And I'm like, what? But I haven't had a chance to look it up. And so what YouTube did is they erased this information. When they messed with my relative, they erased, when they went in, they erased the email that they sent me. Before I could get the information and download the information, they erased this. And so I just happened to print this out before my printer messed up. I printed this out because I was like, oh my God, look at this. And this one says, this is me, 1967, living. And it says mother, 1887. And then it says the father, 1884 to 1821. And it has all of our names, and it goes all the way down, and then the mother, and this is my father, and then this is my mother, and it's all of our names, and then it says the spouse. So I'm like, oh shit, this is the link that's missing in one of my, on the family, and I could plug her in. And them motherfuckers locked me out of my email. And so now I'm back in the email and I'm trying to pull up the ancestry email, and this email is missing. So if I had not have printed this out, and so on my YouTube channel, and I'm saying, I'm going to sue you because you erased my email and you did whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So it's not about, oh, you know, and so then two people said, oh, they don't care. They have money. They don't care if you sue them. They have a lot of money. What the fuck does this have to do with money? You see how people are so small-minded. Once again, you stopped me from finding my ancestry. What the fuck does this have to do with money? What does this have to do with money? Tell me that. I'm trying to find the spouse that was missing that I could not find when I was looking. I'm trying to find my maternal, on my maternal mother's side. And they sent me the thing. So, okay, yeah, I can get on there. When I get my computer, I can try and get up. But they only keep the information on Ancestry for a certain amount of time. I can't do it because I don't have my computer. And I now have to make another folder. But the folder that I had all of this stored in, they erased it when they erased my email. And so allegedly everything is stored in the cloud, which I am paying $9.99 a month for you to store all my shit in the cloud. And I've not been able to retrieve it. So what the fuck does that have to do with money? If this shit was free, fine. But I've been paying you every month for 3 years to store my shit in the cloud. Now, what the fuck does that have to do with money? You nosy sons of bitches on YouTube talking about I'm suing for money. See, that's what I say. Y'all need to mind your fucking business or ask questions first before you assume I'm suing somebody because of the URL and I'm not making money. And I don't give a fuck about making money. I didn't start this channel to make no goddamn money. Stop biting the hand that feeds you. YouTube don't feed me. Does it feed you? They keep fucking with me. They're going to make me rich. Because I'm about to get a motherfucking attorney against YouTube. I think I might be able to make a case against YouTube fucking with my channel. I think so. Losing my emails. That's supposed to be in the cloud somewhere. Anyway, I made a folder called oh, and then for that matter, let's see if I can find this one last thing that has to do with my ancestry. Let's see if I can find it real fast. If I can find it real fast, I will show you. If I cannot find it real fast, I'll move on. Okay. Oh goodness. That's another death certificate. But I found the Army records of when they paid my I think my great-great-grandfather from when he was in the Army in, I don't know, like 1862 or 1802, when they paid him when he was in the Army. Now, why can't I view this? I was just looking at it the other day. All right, let me come out of it because I'm going.